Welcome everyone to today's not live stream, episode number 51 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Bard gameplay series. I'm Commander Dribble, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes, first of all, you don't know how good it feels to be able to say that intro again. Still, though, there's a tinge of regret there because I'm not saying it to all of you live. As most of you know, my city was hit with a hurricane a couple of weeks ago, and it really knocked everything for a loop here. All in all, I was very lucky in that there was no serious home damage or anything like that. We lost power for a bit, but not nearly as long as everyone else did, or as most other people did here in the city. However, once our power came back, we had a few hours of relative calm, and then my internet completely went out. My internet was out for 7 days. Not a big deal for me. I use the internet every day, but I grew up in a world before the internet, so it wasn't a big deal necessarily for me until I started having to skip live streams. And that's where things really started to hit a little closer to home, in that I really didn't want to keep making promises that I couldn't keep. So I had to continuously put up community posts explaining what had happened and the tribulations with getting my internet company to make repairs. They assured me before the weekend that everything was fine, and I did test it. I made a private live stream and streamed just the intro screen here to the game for 30 to 40 minutes and didn't seem to have any problems with bitrate or anything like that while I was streaming. And then I started the live stream on Saturday for the honor mode, and every 2 minutes or so I would drop a huge amount of frames. And I was not going to put out a substandard stream for all of you. That's not how I like to operate. Just in the interest of getting something out there to you. It wasn't going to work. So I did some testing after I ended the live stream and found out I was getting about 3% of my maximum download speed. And I have a really good internet speed here, or I pay for a really good internet speed here. And I was getting 3% of it on the download. Now that's still enough for me to do quite a few things. However, the real problem was the upload. My upload speeds for me to stream at 1080p 60 frames a second, which is what I normally stream at. I need 8 megabits per second. And I was getting, on average, somewhere around 1.2 megabits per second upload. That is about 10% of my average speed and about 5% of my max speed. So I knew some things were wrong, so contacted my internet company. They said everything was, or they sent a tech out on Monday. I met with him. He said it was not a problem here inside my home. He found that the problem was out with their infrastructure outside of the home. They sent out a tech that afternoon to do some repairs on that equipment. They sent me a message saying everything was fixed. I came home Monday night, ran another test, and For about 10 minutes, everything was great. And then it dropped off the planet again. So last night, I put in another trouble ticket, and they have a tech scheduled to come out on Friday. Now, that's a bit of a problem for me, because every time they come out, I have to take off work. And that's also cutting things really, really close to this weekend. So what I'm getting right now after their first set of repairs is I'm getting about 20% of my upload speed. That should be enough for me to record this video and upload it for today, which you are seeing on Wednesday. But it's going to take me about 15 hours to upload it. So I'm actually recording this on Tuesday so that it will go live when you're seeing this on Wednesday. I will continue to hound my internet company. I have an upper tier of subscription with them because, well, basically it's almost a commercial type internet service. And they have promised to try and put me on a wait list for quicker appointments. We'll just have to see if that plays out. So I really am trying to find the right words here. Annoyed doesn't portray the full scope of what it is, but I really miss having the interactions with all of you. I hate that the outage has gone on this long, especially when almost all of the city is back to completely normal functioning. I still have a lot of concerns for all those people who it's going to take longer because of catastrophic damage. I feel for all of you here in my city. But for the most part, that is not what applies to me. And I'm frustrated and annoyed that I'm not able to spend time with all of you. So hopefully this video will give you a little bit of content, and we'll kind of see how it goes for this weekend. Keep an eye on the community tab. I would encourage you to turn on notifications, and this is the only time I'm going to ask for anybody to turn on notifications. That's not what I do. But just to keep more apprised of the situation that I have. I also have various social media accounts. I just haven't had a chance to, or had a need to use them really. But pay attention to my accounts on both Threads and X, where I will also put up an announcement later this week concerning this weekend's live stream. So if you don't want to give a notification here, certainly understand it. Just check the social media accounts, and hopefully I'll have an update and we can get together this weekend. So I think that about covers that. So let's talk about admin notes for the game. And there's been a pretty big set of information dumps this week from Larian concerning patch 7. Patch 7 is going to have a closed beta, and that beta was supposed to start today. And you could sign up, you could submit a request through Steam or through Larian's website to be part of the closed beta. I certainly did that, and today we received a message concerning that closed beta, in that they are going to delay it, and that's because of a technical issue which caused passive roles in the game to simply not function anymore. When you're walking around and you get a passive perception check that happens in the background, and you see the failed roll or a survival check or a nature check, or even other passive things like you're in a conversation and it does an arcana check or something like that in the background where you're not physically rolling for it, those just didn't seem to work. So Larian is backtracking on the patch, and trying to figure out what's causing it, and as such, they're going to delay that closed beta for a week. So that's kind of what the big news was concerning this that came out yesterday. However, to kind of get people over that disappointment, they released a much more in-depth set of notes. We had learned last week concerning patch 7 and the closed beta, the announcement of the closed beta, and when all of that was going to happen, a few things that they were focused on. And there was some really good stuff in there. Split screen is now going to be a morphing split screen. So if you're playing, especially on a console with 2 different players playing split screen and multiplayer, once your characters get close to each other, the screen is going to merge together into one, so that you're playing on the same screen. And then if you move far apart from each other, then your screen is going to split to show you 2 different angles of wherever you're at. So an amazing set of technology there that I have not seen in a multiplayer game before. So I'm really, really anxious to see how the split screen technology works. They had also mentioned, of course, the mod manager and that sort of stuff. We still don't have a whole lot of details about how that's going to work or anything like that. I'm anxious to see if we get to play around with that in the closed beta or not. We will kind of have to see. They had also mentioned that they're going to do a lot of new cinematic endings for your Evil playthroughs. They've been expanding on that more and more, and we expected that as part of patch 7. In the newest update, they listed out a whole bunch more of in-depth first pass type of things that they're going to be doing in the game. I would encourage you to go to Larian's website and read the first pass patch notes. I say that because they are not complete. They are going to be using the closed beta to make additional changes and that sort of stuff based upon player input. But there is a whole new list of stuff that they are working on for the patch. One of those sets of things, I guess, is going to be affecting us on Saturdays. I believe when we had the combat with the bullet, I mentioned that there is coding in the bullet for an honor mode legendary action. They are now going to implement that. The shredding scales ability that was always coded, we knew about, just wasn't implemented. There's a new one called Diamond Scales, which, again, we don't know anything about, but really anxious to see the new legendary actions for the bullet. I'm a little sorry that I won't get to see them because we're already past that point. However, there are a few others that we haven't hit yet. The other one that we have hit is that Dror Ragzlin is going to get a new legendary ability. One of the ways to combat against Dror was to knock him into the spider pit and kind of take him out of the fight for a little bit while he and the spiders fought. That's now no longer going to be a thing. He can now mind control the spiders, and he will walk out of the gate with them in tow and make his way up to fight you. But again, Dror Ragzlin's already passed for us. The others that are getting new things are Malice Thorm is getting a new legendary action, so in Act 2, when we see him, we'll get to see that. Also in Act 2, the Githyanki ambush, as you're about to leave Act 2. The Githyanki leader there is going to get a new legendary action. Then in Act 3, the leader of the Githyanki that you find in the Emperor's hideout is getting a new legendary action. And Pataris, who we haven't seen yet in our playthrough, or any of our playthroughs, is also getting a legendary action. And we probably won't be seeing him. I'm going to see him in my personal playthrough, but not going to see him in any of my online playthroughs, I don't think. He is what happens when you give the Githyanki egg to Esther in the monastery area. He will kill everybody inside of the Society of Brilliance when you get there in Act 3, and you'll be able to have a conversation with them and possibly combat with them, and during that he'll have a legendary action. So there's also one last one, and that is for spectators. These are not legendary actions, these are just new auras and spells. We've already had this fight with the spectator in our playthroughs, in Act 1, or in, yeah, Act 1 in the Underdark. However, you do have access to spectators again through the Iron Flask in Act 3, which we're going to see play out as well. So Honor Mode is getting some updates there on legendary actions, but again, I don't want to spend much more time than that. There's a whole big list of them. I encourage you to go look at the website and take a look at them. So I think that covers our admin notes. So on our recap, at the end of our last episode, we had finished up a fight inside the counting house. We were working our way through the storyline to recruit Minsc, and we had briefly seen him in the counting house before we got into a big fight. And we're going to pick up from there. And it's been so long since I've played this that I don't know if I actually went offline and cleared out my inventory or any of that sort of stuff or not. Honestly, we'll just have to see here.
Just breathe.
Okay, so here we are, and as I said, we are in the counting house, and it looks like I did do some clearing out of our inventories, which is good. So since we're going to be getting into some fights here, let's make sure that we are back to okay. All right, so if we look at our journal here, we have a hint here that we need to head back to the sewers. That's where we should go to find Minsc. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to head out to Baldur's Gateway Point.
Time to press ahead.
We're going to head down here and go right around the corner. Okay, I need to make sure that I cast okay. Jahira's pulling a Shadow Heart from patch 4 and not following the group. I think I had forgotten about that. So let's cast Long Strider on her, if she's missing it. And just make sure that she's not going to follow the group here. Yeah, she's not. So I'm going to have to lead with her.
Boats one through.
And we're going to head down the manhole here. Okay, so down here in the sewers, we get an update to track down the stolen gold for Raketh. And looks like these were already previously completed. Find Mole was completed. And the High Harper's has been advanced. The Stone Lord must be here somewhere. So we can look at our map, and this is just leading us back up to the top. Same, this is leading to Candahala's Tombstone and the Balas Tribunal. We'll get to that a little bit later. Okay, so we need to go search for where Minsc is at, and we've already been there when we opened up this entrance here. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to head down and around, head through the hole in the wall, and make our way to that area. Okay, so this is where we're going here. And again, that red marker we've seen before. Passed out here on the ground. Not in... I don't know of anything that you can do with Darovin, but...
A wellspring of city scum for us to splash around in. Lovely.
Okay, actually we can continue down this way. We don't need to go up there. We're going to make our way here into this cistern pipe. Now we're going to get an autosave here. Kind of let you know what's happening. You can't leave the pipe. There's no way out, but there you can see Minsc, actually. Okay, he's non-hostile right now. So we're going to put everybody in hiding. We're going to break our group, and we're going to put Jaheira and my bard together. Whoops. And we're going to take these two
What path lies before
in.
me?
And again, I'm going to have to take Jaheira in.
On my way.
And once we get in there, we're going to get a cutscene that's going to play out.
All the coin seems to be there, if a little blood-stained. You lot are enthusiastic about your lord's work.
Our Lady. We serve only the absolute.
Oh, silly me. We Zhentarim are so long past our own godly roots, I'm afraid I forget the half of them. But you, I know. When did you start worshipping gods? Did they give your wee rodent a worm friend, too?
Rodent?
Enough! You will show the Stone Lord proper respect, and you will return to the Guildhall and do as we have paid you to.
Of course. I only thought...
Wait. Flop all you wish, little fish. But Minsc has caught you!
On that note, good luck. The job will be done by the time you get to the Guildhall.
And we're immediately going to get dropped into combat. Now, something interesting is happening here.
Do not kill him!
Roah is almost always going to end up going first. And there's a reason for that. Not just that she has alert, but that she has a scripted play that she wants to make. She's going to make her way back here to this exit as quickly as she can. She mentioned that she mentioned the Guildhall, and that is where she is going. Now you can certainly intercept her and kill her before she gets there. We actually did that in our Paladin live stream. We're going to let her go this time, and she's going to make her way out of this combat and head to the Guildhall, and we will see her there at that time. So Minsc is here. Minsc, we have to fight Minsc and we need to knock him out. We want to make sure that we don't kill him during this. So the others we can all kill, but we definitely do not want to kill Minsc. We want to knock him out with non-lethal attacks. So he is not really the most dangerous person here to deal with. The Death's Head Ball back here is going to be incredibly annoying for us to deal with. The Invoker is also going to be annoying. He's right here. Thankfully, he's fairly close to us. What we're going to do is we can make our way around Minsc here without provoking an attack of opportunity. And we want to do that. We want to take the fight up here. And we're going to kind of manipulate people a little bit as we do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and move Jaheira up here. Now again, this is not going to trigger an attack of opportunity. I would like to see, though, if I can Thorn Whip. Yeah, it's not gonna pull the Nightblade off up there. I wish it would. This isn't going to kill Roah. It is going to inconvenience her quite a bit, though. Okay. It is going to kill her summon, though, which is something that we wanted. Now I'm going to use my bonus action to do a perfectly balanced strike here. Okay, just to get some additional damage in.
No choice but to keep going.
Now for my Bard, I want to fly. And I don't want to be threatened when I land. Because I want to try and turn Minsc here. Okay, so gonna make sure that he's coming towards me. Okay, and now with Minsc here, I'm going to let this turn play out partially, okay? And you'll kind of see what I mean by that, depending upon how the damage rolls go here throughout this. I don't expect to take a lot of damage here. I expect to take some, though, and I'm willing to take that to get Minsc kind of moving up here towards me.
Zhahira! You have an evil much
I'm not
uglier
too worried
twin
about
sister.
Hunter's Mark from him.
Minsc does not like this.
Okay, I don't like slow too much, so I'm going to counterspell that. Okay, and now back to me. And what this really did was opened up the detection cones here. Now, I need to be a little careful because it looks like they're a little strange. But I want to get in here and cast darkness with Will. So we'll see if there's actually a detection cone here or not. Yep, that's kind of what I was afraid of.
Let's not get caught off guard. Wonder if the gods are watching me.
Okay, I didn't expect one all the way back there. So, yeah, okay. So I was wanting to cast darkness with Will here, and so that then I could bring my Paladin in behind to start getting attacks here. At this point, I'm just going to cast darkness with my Bard.
Onward.
Okay, now Jaheira is blinded, but that's easy enough to get around with her. So now that Insect Plague isn't really doing anything anymore. And again, Roah, I'm not going to worry about her. And then I can move her back into the darkness. His throws were intercepted by the dummy, so a wasted turn from him, which is good. Going after Will. Now, Roah doesn't really have to get very close to that ladder to disappear. Okay, so I do want to start getting some damage onto Minsc here, because the Nightblade is really not that big a deal for me. But if I can get rid of him, I will. Okay. Definitely want to close the gap and make sure that Minsc stays focused on me here.
You know, I think we have given offense.
Okay, so again, now I'm going to pop out of the darkness. Activate Call Lightning. Move back into the darkness. See what the death set does. Okay, not too worried about those. Again, with my 25 or 26 armor class on my bard, I'd prefer they focus on me. Okay, so the Nightblade here, I think we can just try and... Okay, so the target is too close. Is he next? Yes, he is. I might be able to... Let's just move back and take the attack of opportunity here. Okay, perfect. So get rid of the disadvantage to hit. Not a single crit in there. Okay, but let's quicken. Do that again. Let's actually see if we can get any others here. Will can fly. I don't think... I would love to be able to get up here. Ooh, I can get up here. I love fly. Okay, so path is interrupted there. Path is interrupted there. Come on, is there nowhere up here I can get to him? How interrupted is it? A bit. So close. So that was a bad set of movement from Will there. I should have just taken the guaranteed kill, moved him out here, and gotten the kill there, and with one and then two more against him. Just a bad set of movement on my part. But he's probably going to go after my Paladin, which I'm not too stressed about, because my Paladin should be able to end him right there.
One day I'll catch a break.
Okay. Just in case I throw another one of those. Okay, so Sentinel's gonna proc here, and this should knock him out. I have non-lethal attacks toggled. They are definitely on. He's knocked out. Not too worried about slow on him. I'm gonna kill him right after this. And there goes Roah. So now I can turn off non-lethal attacks. That hurt.
I think I could go another round.
And let's see if Jaheira can kill Jaheira. Standing. Glad you came up there to get me. I think that's probably too far for Will's Elder's Blast. But maybe if I can see around that corner. So let's get one here. But it didn't kill him. I rolled extremely low on that one.
Survival is all that matters.
So let's see if I can get a ranged attack. From down here. Because that's in the darkness. I'm gonna have to drop the darkness.
Can't even catch my breath.
I don't think that's a big deal though.
Still on my feet.
I don't know if I'll be able to get there, but I might be able to throw something instead. I can't.
With haste.
I don't need that.
Against the darkness swarming, his senses a single light glows. Rage, flaring brighter every moment.
Killed her.
He won't stay down for long. Tell your Ulitha to protect him from the Elder Brain's influence. Quickly!
No. This one will not aid our cause. Get rid of him. Don't be foolish. He is too unpredictable. He will only be a hindrance to us. No, I will not be coerced into protecting him. You do not see what I do. His thoughts, his mind, pure chaos.
The Mind Flare pours poison in your ear, I think. Tell it I will tear the prism from your grasp and throw it into the deepest lava pit I can find. Long after our bones are dust and ash, the walls of its prison will still be burning. Now help my friend!
She bluffs. Surely she would not risk the fate of all for one simple life. Fine. Have it your way.
His mind unfolds beneath yours. A still lake pulls you down into its depths. Images flash by, battles fought, and friends fallen. His rage grows colder, burrows deeper, as a familiar face crystallizes before you.
Jaheira. You killed her!
You are being dramatic.
The instant's hesitation is enough. With a sensation of terrible rending, something vast and nameless falls away from his mind.
There. It is done.
Jaheira? I do not understand.
Good. That means you're back to your old ways. We have a lot to discuss. But first, You have someone to thank.
In the sudden silence, your minds merge once more. More memories, sensations, but passing too quickly for you to track. In the same breath, you share everything that happened to you. The Nautiloid, the Absolute, the chosen of the Dead Three.
You saved Minsc. While he danced like a Mind Flayer's meat puppet. Why?
Suggested.
You do well to heed her. Jaheira was very wise. Even before she was very old. There is someone you must meet. He is... Where is he?
Okay, well, where is he?
Nature's servant awaits. Oakfather east the road.
Where are you? Squeak, so I might know you. My friend, from our brief sharing of skulls, I know you have faced many strange beings, but none like this. Whatever happens, show no fear and stay your hand. Trust in Minsc. Minsc finds that the less thinking he does, the easier the trusting comes. Wait! You gaze into Minsc's soul and see his foul crimes. You smell the stench of evil upon him, pointy claws primed, ready to scratch out his eyes. I am sorry, my friend. I am at the mercy of your faultless justice. Now, if you must burrow through my blackened heart, I am ready. No? You are certain? Oh, such boundless compassion. You are all heart. And whiskers. And cute little nose. You are right, of course. There is still much evil for Boo and Minsc to stamp out. But we need not fight it alone. I have a new face to show you. But it is not a villainous one for the clawing, understand? This is Boo. And Boo, meet you?
The greatest reveal in this game. Right there. For those of you not familiar with the previous Baldur's Gate games, go get familiar. and then come back and you will understand how amazing it is to see Boo, the miniature giant space hamster.
No, it is a hamster. A miniature giant space hamster. Fear not, you will learn the difference in time. Those villains locked Boo away, lest his righteous gaze cause their tadpole to flee in terror. Now we are together again. All will be exactly as... Boo, why do you use such language? once more my hamster proves himself my greater half, and makes the path clear when my mind is fuzzier than his tiny bottom. He says we will join with you, and cleanse Baldur's Gate of Evil, together! Minsc is honored indeed, but you have not the space, hmm?
I'm actually going to send Kurz to camp, at least temporarily.
Get comfortable, Boo. We go to battle and... to glory, or glorious death.
Okay, so we're going to keep Minsc with us at least for a little bit here
No one back
while
home
we
will ever
look
believe this.
around this area, because there are some things in here that if you hold left alt you can see. So first here is a pair of wings.
Let's see what this does.
A wood carving of a pair of wings, like an eagle's, but longer somehow.
She went in search of new wings.
And all of these artifacts relate to characters in the previous Baldur's Gate
Justice
games.
walks on 4 feet and sleeps in my boot.
A worn but still capable warhammer,
Even the gods
sized
dare
for a
rule my heart.
halfling.
She sought to become a paladin.
A humble turnip,
A strange
preserved by
man,
drying.
but a fine friend. I can forgive him his love of turnips. Done.
A
Guildhall
mailed fist
Firecam.
in the Firecam armor style.
Much of honor and faith, but he fought like a berserker when it counted.
And the last one is right here around the corner.
All over Ashman, they raise statues to Dinah here. But this is Minsc's true monument to her Wicklaren mask.
And you get these additional dialogues only if Minsc is in your party
Let's get going.
when you do them. And that's part of the reason that I wanted to have
Let's be on
him
my way.
with us, is just so you could get to hear those dialogues. There are, again, various things that you can search in and around here. But as for the rest of it, I don't think there's
What's in
anything
here?
that I remember being in here that's worth any real value. There is one more wall here. Which doesn't go anywhere. No, it doesn't. I was looking to see if I could get up to any places on the sides, and you can't. And nothing there either. Now we're gonna level up
Justice, truth, and the
Minsc
virtuous
here.
boot.
just because I want to take him with me into the fight that is coming up. And I don't want to have him be a complete hindrance while we are there. So I'm going to level him up into... He is a ranger by default as his character. I'm going to multi-class him as we go up here. So for fighting style, I'm going to pick archery. For spells, doesn't really matter as much here. What I'm going to pick with these. Okay, at level 3, I'm going to be able to choose my subclass, and I'm going to choose Gloomstalker here. That's going to get me my Dread Ambusher abilities, as well as the bonus action Hide that I can get from from the rogue as well. Umbral Shadow is okay if you need it. As for spells here, again, not a whole lot that is going to matter, I don't think. Okay, here I'm going to get my first feat, and I'm going to take Sharpshooter. At Ranger level 5, I get my first extra attack here, which is incredibly important for him. For my spells also as a Gloomstalker, I'm going to get access to Misty Step here, which is nice. Now for my level 2 spells, I'm going to take Pass Without Trace. Now, at Ranger level 6, you start to have a bit of a choice on how you want to progress here. I'm going to be taking some more stuff here, but first I'm going to multi-class into Rogue. Okay? For my abilities, doesn't really matter all that much. This is going to get me access to sneak attack here at level 1. Rogue level 2, I get my bonus actions from my abilities. Level 3, however, is where we pick our assassin subclass. This gets us our ability to make crits against any surprised creature, which is going to be incredibly important. We also get all of our actions back when we make that first attack from out of combat, and we have advantage on attack roll, on all the attack rolls against those creatures to hit better to get the crits. Okay, now we're going to stick with Rogue level 4 to take our feat, and that's going to be Alert. Okay, now here again is where you start having options on what you want to do. I definitely want to keep 2 levels here, because our third multi-class, I'm going to want 2 levels on it. So the question becomes, do you want to take another level in Rogue and get Uncanny Dodge? It's basically resistance to all damage types, or to all attacks that hit you. It's incredibly useful, and it stacks with other things that might give you resistance to particular types of damage. So if you're taking half damage from slashing and you take a hit, you're going to take half of half or a quarter damage. So Uncanny Dodge is very useful. If I go back to Ranger here, I'm going to gain my favored enemy slots, and I chose, I guess I forgot to go through his and pick Magebreaker. But as for the rest of these, none of them are, really better than any of the others. Ranger Knight gives me proficiency with heavy armor, which doesn't really matter as much for the build that I'm going for here. Natural Explorer is really going to give me more resistance to any of the types of damage here. So I think picking between the 2, I'm better off leveling up and getting Uncanny Dodge between these two choices. Okay, now here I'm going to add my last multi-class, and that's going to be Fighter. For my fighting style here, I'm going to take 2-weapon fighting. I could take defense, or I could take protection, or something like that. I'm Yeah, I'm going to take 2-weapon fighting here for this. I was thinking about whether it was dueling or 2-weapon fighting, but it's 2-weapon fighting that I want. And then level 2 gets me action search, which is really the reason that you take a 2-level dip into fighter.
No time to rest.
Okay, so now I'm going to have to
and sleeps in my boot.
get Minsc geared up, and I do want to make sure I have all of his stuff selected here. That bardic inspiration is still there from when it was cast on him by Roah. So something kind of nice that he has sticking around afterward. So I do still have one short rest left.
In it.
Let's head to camp real quick. And let's get Minsc kind of sorted out here. And for the most part, and again, I'm just stacking up traveler's chests. I noticed this when before the hurricane and my last time I was playing, that I got a 3rd traveler's chest in my personal playthrough, and it seems to be proccing on all of them. So I got a completely new set of my digital deluxe edition gear here. I think I've got almost enough Mask of the Shapeshifters for everybody to have their own at this point. So let's look for, because I have medium armor and shield proficiency here, but I'm going for dual wielding. So let's look for medium armors here. The adamantine scale mail is nice. Reaper's Embrace is heavy. There's also one that I'm looking for, but I don't know if I picked it up or not. Okay, so there's a +3 bonus to stealth checks when you're obscured. Okay. So I think I'm probably going to, well, I'm going to take this for now. It's only light armor, but I don't think I have the other one that I was looking for. Okay, so as far as my weapons go, there's advantage on stealth checks. Okay. So as far as gloves go, it's not a whole lot that really matters as far as these go. Yes. Now when I make an attack with my offhand weapon, I add my ability modifier to it, which is dexterity. So I'm gaining a +3 bonus damage to all of that. For boots, probably the boots of speed. Yes. As far as capes go, I don't think I have all that many capes. That matter that much. Let me just quickly scroll through these. I mean, I guess I could take that. Doesn't really matter that much. Now for rings and amulets. Probably not a lot in here. Yeah, it doesn't really matter on those. And then for rings, I would like to have... Well, if Will is... with me. I also can't access... Yes, I can access Kurz's inventory. Because he doesn't have anything to see in the dark. So he's going to have that swapped out. So that he can see in the dark. Shield is nice. And I'll just take those two. Just to have them. Okay. So that gets him, like I say, just somewhat set up so that he's not
Still alive.
a complete
So,
handicap
that's progress.
for what's coming. So we're going to head to Deepside Strange. And we will use our last short rest.
Can't slow down.
To intimidate. Waste of a good alley.
Okay, now we're going to split our group, and of course Jahira's not with me.
So what exactly?
That you, that gorgeous sister.
We'll sit down. I mean it.
Now, none of these characters out here move, I don't think. So I should be able to get everybody.
Every kicked buttock, another step on the path. I am so
Nope.
very stealthy.
That's just because I was next to him when I tried it. So I don't really need to. I'm going to head in here and leave everybody else out here for now. Okay, and now in here we have Roah. And we have an opportunity here to speak with Roah about what is happening here. Okay. And there are multiple ways to play this out, and it's I don't believe, and I'm going to go look this up because I haven't played it this way before. I'm just checking
Any guild member strikes the first blow. It won't be this
before I do this, because again, I haven't played it this way in my personal playthrough. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of what I thought. So, there are two ways to play this out. Jaheira's not going to leave the party either way I play this, but let's kind of pick this here and talk to Roah.
What's up for discussion?
Ah, you survived. Which means my employers are dead, I take it. No matter. Gives us a chance to talk. Nine Fingers is done. My Zhentarim stand ready to purge this place of everyone loyal to her. So all I need to know is, does that include you? Or not? You fail to see the bigger picture. Yes, they offered us money, but more than that, they offered an opportunity. The money is a bonus. The Zhentarim have been trying to crack Baldur's Gate for years, but Nine Fingers' grip has been too strong. And look what it's come to. Her guild is disorganized, undisciplined. The cult broke them in a matter of days, while my Zhentarim still stands strong. A guild under our control can do what Nine Fingers failed to. Drive the Absolute out of the city once and for all. We're all on the same side. If there are spoils to be split afterwards, well, I'm sure there's enough to share.
Okay, so again, you can either side with the Zhentarim or you can side with Nine Fingers. Now, it's very true that the Zhentarim have been working kind of with the Absolute's cult, so to speak, through all of this. But at the end of the day, they're opportunists, just like Nine Fingers is. So I don't think there's really much of a moral high ground one way or another. Jaheira knows Nine Fingers. She does not like the Zhentarim. So if you side with the Zhentarim here, Jaheira is going to be angry. I don't think that she leaves your group. I could be entirely wrong about that. But I don't think she leaves your group. Even if she does leave our group, I don't know as if I'm all that worried about it. Let me... I just want to check one more time here. And make sure that I read this right. So I don't think that she leaves. Okay. I don't think she leaves. I think she's going to be upset, but I don't know if she leaves. But even if she does, she does. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to go backwards on the playthrough, and I think this is a different way of playing it than what we played in the Paladin playthrough. So it gives you an idea about the different options and what they do. So we're going to side with Roah here and go through this fight and kind of see how it goes. But you can side with Nine Fingers here. But for now, we're going to go this way.
Oh, let's. To arms, Zhentarim! The guild is ours for the taking!
And you can see that Nine Fingers is going to be somebody that we want to get rid of as quickly as possible. Okay, if we go back through that, she is doing 6d6 piercing damage. She does 1d4 piercing damage from her dagger. She adds her dexterity modifier to it. She's also doing an additional 6d6 piercing from something. And she's doing plus 8 damage from this dagger thrower trait. And that's from the blade least expected. So hit a foe against whom you've got advantage dealing sneak attack. So she doesn't have to be a rogue to deal sneak attack damage. Her strength affects how much weight she can throw, and the damage of those thrown weapons is the same as the weapon's melee damage. That's why throwing a dagger is getting that 1d4 damage. Okay? But it's also throwing in some 6d6 piercing damage from somewhere, and we're going to kind of take a look at that as we go through this. But we definitely want to focus on taking care of Nine Fingers Keen while we do this. Okay, so let's look at our detection cones. Okay, so looks like Slick Inatra down here is causing most of the detection cone work here at this spot. So I think what we do is we actually head down here. And we cast Darkness on these two Zhentarim, or on these two here. Actually, it doesn't really matter. Happy Hands is not in this fight. But this is just going to keep or get rid of the detection cones. Okay, so now my detection cones have opened up quite a bit, and I'm able to move around here quite a bit more. And in doing that,
Butt level. All the better for the kicking.
I'm gonna make my way here into the Guildhall. And this must be coming from Lady Ague here. This detection cone.
Soften my step, boo. No, get out of my boot.
Okay, so most of them are out here. And let's see what we can do here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with ranged attacks here. See if I can get anybody without moving. I think I might be able to get 3-piece here. I can. Okay, so got him with 3. So Lady Ague is probably going to come towards me here next. Problem's going to be whether or not I can get in here in hiding or not.
They won't see me coming.
Okay, I did.
Every step counts.
And I'm going to cast darkness up here. I'm going to leave a little bit of that balcony not obscured, though. Okay. Now last is Jahira.
Unseen. Cannot always go in plain sight.
Now, Jahira. Yeah, she's going to have a problem with the darkness as well. Who's got... the... Eversight ring? So Shadowheart has it.
Quick and quiet. Going.
Now I don't think well, maybe she can cast this. Okay. So looks like we rolled fairly well in the initiative orders here.
Breathe deep and move.
Shouldn't have run there. I should have flown. Come after Jahira. That's fine. It rolled a 25. Wow. Nice. Okay, so now Dread Ambusher is procced. We have our full actions in, so let's get rid of 3-piece using our bonus action here. 65%. Let's turn off Sharpshooter all in because we're not going to need it. Okay, because she was burning, that gave me the additional damage for burned alive from the Firestoker crossbow. So let's move up here.
Who is napping? So die in silence, evil!
Can we reach her? We can. Okay, and now our action is reset. No, we're gonna hold that.
Not but another harvest.
Okay, so for Jaheira again, we will drop Call Lightning here. And then a perfectly balanced strike. And I do want to protect Roah. So I need to watch her hit points. Because I did damage her previously, so I'm going to want to heal her up. Go after Jaheira. Went after Will. Okay, so he made his concentration saving throw. That's good. That was vicious. Okay, so we're gonna move Will back a little bit more. I'm not worried for the most part about anybody down here on the ground. Okay, good. I'm hoping this means that Nine Fingers is going to go after the wolf instead of anybody else. Stunned. Well, that's a problem for them. Okay, so cast blindness. I might as well counterspell that. Just getting beat up. Oh, just getting beat up. Okay, so who's she gonna throw at? Okay. That attack is just so vicious. But at least she didn't go after Roah. Okay. So for me, we again want to get into combat here with Nine Fingers. That's really the goal here for me, and I can do that right here. And one of the ways that we can do this is with a mobile flourish melee. Oh, we missed a 70%er. Okay. Now that she's down on the ground, And I don't think I'm too worried. Well, no, I won't sacrifice the high ground here. I'll be able to kill Nine Fingers here in a second, so let's move behind these two.
To glory or glorious death!
Okay, as far as Minsc goes, let's see. I should be able to move out of darkness here. See if I can get rid of Nine Fingers here. Outstanding.
Still standing, no matter what you heard.
And Jaheira is going to drop another Call Lightning. And another perfectly balanced strike. Now, Will has the high ground here, so let's see if we can get rid of... Okay, so not a crit. Again, not a crit. There's a crit. That was enough to get the kill. Right. Oh, Monk is so strong. Death by 1,000 cuts. Not too worried about blindness here, but I'll be taking a long rest, so I might as well counterspell it. These are all my Warlock spell slots anyway, so... This is gonna hurt. Okay, and let's see if we can get another mobile flourished melee in here. Okay, so she doesn't want to move there, so let's move this out of the way and see if we can move in here. Oh, she's ensnared. Yeah, so it's not going to work while she's ensnared. Thank you for ensnaring striking. I appreciate that. I wish you wouldn't have. So I can actually pop away from here because she's ensnared. It's not going to get an attack of opportunity. Yeah, I don't think Repelling Blast is going to do anything just because, again, she's ensnared. Okay, I don't need to paralyze, I don't think. She's way down at the end of the initiative order here.
To arms! Wait, no! To swords!
But let's see if we can get rid of her. We'll do it. So here, here, and here. Perfect.
Consider my hackles raised.
Now for Jaheira. Oof. Bad placement. Maybe not. It should be able to pop out of the darkness here. And drop Call Lightning down below. Oh, I can just barely get it in there and get just him too. And now Will can move up. See if he can get attacks from up here. Oh, come on. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. I'm literally that half a meter. I think that just moved him back where he was. Yep. I mean, that's how close I am to getting him. Okay. Magic missile's got some lag in it, it seems. And I should have been casting Hex before all of that, but again, not too worried about this fight. Not gonna have much place to go here. It's kind of like playing three-dimensional chess here, finding out which level they're on.
I'm kicking for goodness!
I can probably get a shot from up here. No, are you kidding me? Come on. Come on. You're kidding me. Did that knock it out? It did. Jeez. A destructible bridge, evidently.
Feel the backhand of justice!
No better moment.
Wasted those attacks. Again, too far out. Not worried about any of these. I doubt I can reach from up there. I'll let the Zhentarim do their work. All right. So we're gonna go talk to the Zhentarim here in a minute. Okay, pathing. Hello. Thank you. So like I say, Jaheira's probably going to be angry with us, but I don't think she leaves, but she might. I'll have to wait and see.
I asked for your help. Huh? Set us on course for what happened at the Guildhall. So, perhaps, I have no right to question. But whatever your feelings on Nine Fingers, whatever mine, I cannot see how we served the city by putting the Zhentarim in her place. I have no illusions about who Estelle was. She was a criminal, a brute even when she had to be. But her every act, even those I opposed, was done in service to her city, no matter her personal feelings. So it seems I must honor that and do the same. But mark my words. When the Absolute is finished, when all of this is done, the city will feel her loss.
Okay, so we got some disapproval there, but she's not leaving, which was the important part. This was the scroll that we found in her house.
The threat of spanking never kept the children from poking through my things. Why should it deter you? It is a ritual, or it describes one at least. Practiced by druids of certain esoteric circles. If they be learned and powerful enough, the practitioner of this ritual might slow their aging, extend their life well beyond its natural reach. It is not something you need concern yourself with. I've picked up stranger things in all my travels. Trust me.
Okay, we're gonna have many more conversations with both her and Minsc in camp. But for
Whatever
now...
it takes. There.
So... a little surprised that
At
Uktar's
least things have
still
stayed
here,
interesting.
actually.
I have something to ask.
Come on now, guys. Nine Fingers herself got a very...
Uktar, I remain Guild Bursar, whoever sits in the big chair. Do we have business?
Okay, so
Swift as my feet
as
can
he
carry
says, still has business, even though doesn't matter who's in charge.
The work is never done. I go where I'm told.
So let's go in here and talk to Roah.
Still breathing, despite everything.
So it's that simple. Drop your weapons, bring out Nine Fingers, and this can all end peacefully. For you, at least. What's this, Stone Lord? It's a little late to change the terms of our deal. The pieces are already in place.
This Stone Lord is no more. Boo and Jaheira and my friend would not let me stay cursed. And the only terms we offer are between my boot and your treacherous buttocks.
I see. That's unfortunate. And what about the adult in the room? Whatever I told that lot below, this will end in bloodshed. All you have to do is pick the right side.
Okay, so it looks like this cutscene is a little glitched out. It's going through it as if the combat hasn't happened yet, and I think that's because Minsc is actually in our party here now. That's why I wanted to bring Minsc along, is because I knew that there was a dialogue interaction here. It might have kind of glitched things out a little bit. So this option here is going to lead us to probably killing them too, which I don't want to do.
The Zhentarim have been trying to crack Baldur's Gate for years, but Nine Fingers' grip has been too strong. And look what it's come to. Her guild is disorganized, undisciplined. The cult broke them in a matter of days, while my Zhentarim still stands strong. A guild under our control can do what Nine Fingers failed to. Drive the Absolute out of the city once and for all, and then remain on in the city to protect its good citizens from any future threats. For a reasonable fee, of course.
My hamster can smell your lies, villain. Foul not his little nose.
Fine. Let us talk of truth, then. Do your friends know how many you killed in the Absolute's name, Stonelord? Do you?
Do not call me that. Minsc is Minsc.
Oh? I don't recall any tales of Minsc helping the likes of Nine Fingers. A known thief? A murderer? I thought Minsc of Rashamen served the side of good. I'm the last to judge, big man. You were just following orders. And hey, that's all you have to do now. If you don't know what's right, just let the grown-ups talk. Because I know your friend will make a smart choice.
So, this is what would happen if I had brought Minsc in with me to talk to Roah at the start. So it has kind of glitched out, but only because I left Minsc outside of the hideout here when I started this whole thing off. Otherwise, this conversation would have been had at the beginning. And now that he's here, it's kind of glitched out a little bit, it seems.
Why would you side with this villain? Who does not... I do not understand.
Cheer up, Minsc. This is about the greater good. Maybe your hamster will explain it to you one day. Enough negotiations, Zhentarim. It's time to take our due!
Okay, so I just wanted that to play out the same way it was intended to. So I guess that's just kind of a lesson learned right now, that there's probably a little glitch in the scripting. So if you're going to come in here with Minsc to get the additional dialogue options and you're going to side with the Zhentarim, make sure that you bring Minsc in with you to have the conversation at the start. You could also, I guess, go in and kill the Zhentarim now. However, there is a reason that you leave either Nine Fingers or Roah alive here. Who you side with doesn't change what rewards you get when it comes to the final battle. You get the same allies from both individuals. But if you kill them both, you're going to get neither one. So you want to pick a side and stick with it.
My new office. The chair could be a little comfier, and the desk definitely needs adjusting, but I'd say it'll do. A deal well done. Congratulations all round.
So you still have a chance here to go and clear them out.
I redecorate, I think. This place could do with some Zhentarim banners. Then we prepare. When it comes time to fight the Absolute, you'll have a private army at your beck and call. With a newly minted sword captain at its head, I suspect. The network has been looking for a toehold in this city for years, and I just gave them the whole damn leg up. It's been a fruitful partnership, no doubt. Without Nine Fingers clogging up the works, The Zhentarim have a clear run of the cities on the coast now. You benefit too, don't forget. Go pick a fight with this god. We'll be there when you need us. You have my word.
Okay, and that's going to add a Gather Your Allies entry here. So we're sure to have their blades on our side should it come to protecting the city. So like I say, the number and type of allies that you're going to get between the guild and the Zhentarim are both the same. It's 6 of one, half dozen the other. It doesn't really matter one way or the other. Okay. So as far as return Raketh's gold, so we saw Raketh's gold given to a Zhentarim agent named Roah. It's unlikely she'll part with it willingly. So I don't know if there's an option here to get it.
Whatever you're planning to do to take down the Absolute, do it before that little worm of yours claims you.
Okay, we are going to have an option here to buy from Roah, just like we did in Act 1 in the Goblin Camp and Act 2 in Moonrise Towers. We now open her up as a vendor here in Act 3. So we're going to have access to all the things that we didn't buy previously from her, and all of the things that we sold back to her throughout our time in the previous acts. There are also going to be a few extra things that you're going to find in here from her. So the Sharpened Snare Cuirass is a medium armor where you get your full dexterity modifier to your armor class. It's also meant to help out your rangers that have Ensnaring Strike, because creatures have disadvantage on saving throws when resisting your attacks and spells that inflict restrained. Restrained is what Ensnaring Strike does, and now they have disadvantage on those saving throws. So once you Ensnaring Strike somebody, there's a good chance that they're just going to stay ensnared and not going to be able to pass the saving throw to get out of it. So when they're restrained, again, they can't move. Any attack rolls against them have advantage, and they have disadvantage on their attack rolls and dexterity saving throws. So this works really, really well against the big bad bosses in the group. You can Ensnaring Strike them, keep them ensnared, and they're going to have disadvantage on all of their attack rolls, and more than likely not be able to get out of the ensnarement. And that means they're kind of locked in place, and you can deal with everybody else, come back to them later. So very, very useful for your Ensnaring Strike type characters, but also for other types of restrained. Any other thing that can inflict that, this will also give the same benefits. So she does have we didn't pick these up previously. The Gloves of Crushing, you get a +1 bonus to unarmed attack rolls, and your unarmed attacks deal an additional 2 bludgeoning damage. So again, part of the set of, or the group of gloves that are going to deal additional bonus damage to your unarmed attacks for your monks. The Poisoner's Ring we knew about. The Ring of Spiteful Thunder has been there before. The Armor of Devotion has been there before. The Marksmanship Hat was there before. You gain a +1 bonus to ranged attack rolls and thrown attack rolls. I don't think there's anything else that she has that's special. I think all the rest of it is just +2 armors. Yeah, the Hunter's Dagger. I can't remember if the Hunter's Dagger was there or not. Basically, when you hit somebody, you have to succeed a DC 13 Constitution saving throw or be ruptured. Ruptured is a condition where they take 1d4 piercing damage every time they move. And at the end of that turn, it goes away. You're going to inflict a turn of it. You can, if you have multiple attacks, you can stack up multiple turns of it that goes along with it. So every time they move, even if they haven't been hit by you, they could take additional piercing damage. Situational at best. Roah is also going to be selling some of the best arrows that are going to be in the game, which is always really, really nice. Elixir of Viciousness is really nice, especially for Will. And I think that's it. Everything else was we either sold to her or she had previously. Okay, but because we upped her attitude is still the same here. We can take this opportunity just to clear out the rest of Minsc's inventory here of stuff that he's not going to need. She always has a real good amount of gold, especially if you've sold her a bunch of stuff previously. Okay, so I do want to try something. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to with that. Let's go here.
Evil hides and Boo seeks. You cannot hide evil. Boo smells your bubbling guts a mile
Fingers
away.
was a thief. And worse. I suppose that makes us the good guys, eh?
Okay, so she did turn around, but not long enough. Let's see if I can do this.
They might have told us we were going to turn our coach from the start.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do is see if I can pickpocket her, but unfortunately if I do it, Kalarina the Wolf is going to see me do it. I could, and I'm not interested in actually pickpocketing her. So I guess
That's a friendly looking shadow. Best get in and out.
I'm looking to see if she has 10,000 gold on her. She does. It's right there. Chances of me picking it are really, really low because it's such a high gold amount. But I guess you could pick it. You could try and pickpocket it from her, but that's the only way you're going to get it other than killing her. However, now that we have the... Well, I don't know if that removes it or not. We do have her allies in here right now. So I think we're going to skip, end up skipping out on Rakath's gold here for now. We may come back a little later and see if we want to kill Roah to get that gold. There may be a way where we can close this door behind us and just deal with the 3 that are in here. And take them out and not anger the rest of everybody else. But we'll kind of see.
On my way.
But yeah, I'd need a really high roll to do it. You can get rolls that high. I would certainly need to do a respec. I would certainly bring a Astarion in, spec'd out for sleight of hand, and give him advantage on all of that stuff to be able to roll it. But it is certainly possible to pick that from him. I may actually try that kind of offline, and see how it goes.
Breathe quiet. Move with care.
Okay, and we have been back in here. This is where we were previously when this was Nine Fingers' place.
At your command. Lead the way.
And the bartender is probably undisturbed by all of this. People still need a drink after all.
A new boss makes your fur stand on end, don't it? What are you having?
Okay. So the same things as always. So now looking through our list here, we have some other things that we need to go do, and finding the parts of Dribbles the Clown is one of them. And I think that's probably what we're going to be working through for the last part of the live stream. But before we do that, we want to head to camp and take a long rest and see if we get a cutscene when we do.
Jaheira, Boo is trying his best to explain, but I still do not understand your anger.
Do not hide behind your hamster, Ranger. You do not understand because you do not listen. We were the first to discover the cult, and if you had only waited, we might have marshaled our numbers and—
Good does not wait for evil to button up its breeches. When it offers buttocks for the smacking, Minsc and Boo greet cheek with hand.
This mess falls on our heads, Minsc. The city under siege, its people poisoned by the cult. It all might have been avoided if you had just put your feelings aside and listened. You mean the doppelgangers? It is no comfort to me that my face made this fool all the easier to lead. The point remains. You meant well, Minsc. But you exposed the city to harm. You helped the cult spread. And worse, perhaps than any of this, you forced me to leave you behind.
But this is where Minsc falls short of the understanding, Jaheira. What else is a berserker for, if not to charge into danger ahead of his Waclarin?
Waclarin? Minsc, I am not your witch. You are not my bodyguard. This is not some high lodge of your homeland.
Boo agrees you're a queer kind of witch. But this city is a queer place. And Minsc, you may have noticed, is sometimes strange himself. The titles matter not. Only this. When Minsc does as Minsc does, and charges in to make a mess, Jaheira does as Jaheira does, and finds a way to save us all anyway.
Is there? Wonderful. Another Minsc in the making.
Ha! Not without a companion, I'm afraid. Boo will ask some of his sewer-dwelling friends.
I am your friend, Ranger. I am not your witch. There will be no ointments or healing balms.
Not even for Boo?
Always some great interactions with Boo and Jaheira both. They're both great characters. At the end of the day, I'm not going to use either one of them past this. They aren't characters that I'm going to keep with me through the rest of this. And on that note, I'm going to bring Kurz back in.
This vessel is at thy disposal. Do what thou wilt.
But the vessel only stares blankly. You'll need to make room in your party first.
This soul awaits thy command.
Okay, and then I'm going to bring Shadowheart back in.
I wasn't expecting it, but I'm glad to have some company on this journey. I'd join you, but things are looking a tad crowded. Lead the way then.
And now that I'm here, we're going to redo their inventories. So with Minsc, I'm swapping these out. The rest of everything else, this went to Gale, but doesn't really matter. None of these need to get swapped either.
A long way to go still.
So, is there anything here? Yes, the Eversight ring. Can go here, back on her. I think that was it. Yes, that was. Okay. So now my party's back to normal. So let's take a quick look, or take a quick conversation around through here, and then we'll go out and take a look at Dribble. So let's talk to Minsc and have some conversations.
My friend, now we have settled the matter of the guild. I fear there is something I must tell you. You and Boo both. It may shock you both to know, but Minsc and this Stone Lord, they are one man. The same one man. And that same one man is Minsc. Never has Boo been more proud of my failures. I wish to believe the Stone Lord's evil was the worm alone, tainting my thoughts with foul dung. But I see now, the dung was within Minsc all along. So I wonder, if Minsc can be a villain, and the Zhentarim now stand as the city's protectors, must it be so with all creatures? Is there good and evil within us all? Boo calls this nonsense. Less thinking of bad thoughts, says he, and more breaking of bad bones. But still, I would hear what you have to say on the matter, my friend. Even though it led to evil ends? And even the true Jaheira is not always right. She sometimes pets Boo a little too roughly. Or denies him the breakfast broth so that I must dip him in the pot when she looks the other way. I begin to wonder if good and evil is not a thing of knowing. If it is sometimes a thing that Minsc must decide for himself. Alone. Which is why I'm asking you.
All of these conversations are so reminiscent of Baldur's Gate 2. And the character that he played, or the part that he played in that as a character previously. For such a simple person, sometimes his mind goes into incredibly philosophical thoughts that he gets lost in, and he needs somebody to help him through the maze of his own thoughts a little bit.
I see. I ask only because this throwing of our lot in with the Zhentarim, I can see the good in it if I stop and squint for a moment. Evil might be turned to virtuous ends, like hoisting a goblin by the toes so that you might use him to club another, larger goblin. But a word of warning, if Minsc may. No matter how mighty the warrior, you cannot swing a goblin forever. Sooner or later, it comes time to set the dizzy little demon down and do battle with him all the same. Do you understand my meaning? Minsc's metaphor could not have been clearer. You say the path between good and evil is not always clear. Very well, says Minsc, who has always guided my boots, and so now he shall guide yours too. My hamster's hopes are a heavy burden to bear. We must not let him down. A fine deed we have done to rid Faerun of this man. All helm hair and a haughtiness. Oh, this was the Lord Gortash we were sworn to do battle with, Boo. All the better then.
And for those of you who don't know, the voice actor behind Minsc here is Matthew Mercer. He is the main DM in the Critical Role YouTube series and live streaming and live shows in that whole group. He's an amazing character, incredibly intelligent person when it comes to tabletop. And it's, again, a joy to see him voicing such a famous character.
Of course, my friend. Or are we not friends? Boo never looks to give me fleas. Sometimes you just pick these things up along the path. Now, does Boo see a question in your eye, or just a parasite poking through? Well, Boo, explain yourself. Clear enough? Can you not? Do you not see his noble bearing? The deep wells of wisdom that are his eyes? Boo speaks of much. Perhaps one day, you will be ready to listen.
And that dialogue option's only there if you have Speak with Animals active.
Boo has a way with words that we lack. All that space in the cheeks, I am thinking. There is nothing jestful in the bond between a ranger and his companion. Before Boo, I was a typical berserker of Rasheman. Duty-bound and full of my own seriousness. The problem with one so gazing of their navel, however, they are easily ambushed. Brigands split my skull like a sodden wineskin. It was as I recovered that Boo first appeared. He told me that I had felt the great poking finger of justice, marking Minsc as its champion and Boo as my guide. As for the headache, well, justice cannot always afford to be gentle. Do not be ridiculous. If any of us is chosen by the gods, it is obviously Boo. Now, shall we away? My boots crave the crunch of unvirtuous nethers.
Okay. So there are a few more conversations to have. We don't necessarily want to spend all of our time going through here. So let's just quickly go through everybody else.
All's well, I hope, aside from the obvious.
I think you might have made a terrible mistake. Huh? Chasing rumor halfway around the city and back. Crossing the guild. Wading through filth. Defying the one creature upon whom your very life depends. All for a madman and his rodent. The Absolute threatens thousands. The entire coast. And still you risked much to help one man. I should berate you. But I can only say thank you. Your reasons were your own. But whether you meant for it or not, your fight is our fight, huh? Both of us. To the very end. Ah, those misty eyes are just age. Yes, I feel myself growing older as we stand here. So, lead the way. We're yours to command.
And again, there are many more conversations.
Already feeling better.
Let's talk.
And Will, as always, it's disappeared. I don't think it's going to be gone forever, but we'll see.
Oakfather preserve you.
Breathe deep and move.
Hail!
Ready and waiting.
Whatever happens next, be sure that I will document it all as accurately as possible.
Can't remember if we looked at his wares previously or not. I think we probably did. He's going to have some decent scrolls that you can pick up from him and things like that, but for the most part, that's really it.
Minsc is so amazing. I don't know what I was expecting. Something beyond real. My life would have been so different if I ended up working for her instead of Gortash. Looking after these kids. Making a difference. Maybe in the next life.
Hardly the noblest conflict we've encountered, but criminals will have their squabbles, even in the looming shadow of utter annihilation.
I don't like getting caught between the Guild and the Zhentarim. You always make enemies when you take sides in a struggle like that. And in this case, they're enemies we might not see coming until it's too late.
Okay, so I think that's it. So let's go take our rest. Okay, now as usual, we want to get set up for thoroughly stuffed. So to do that, we're going to bring Zenith into our party and remove Shadowheart.
This vessel is at thy disposal.
But the vessel only stares blank.
This soul away.
Now I'm going to move myself down here.
No one stop me.
I'm going to send Kurz
Very well.
down here, and then Zenith.
Have to keep going.
You come down here and get ready to cast Hero's Feast.
Is that blood?
Now I can
No, never mind.
bring Shadowheart back in.
Almost pleasant traveling with company. Your dance card is full. Lead the way then.
And all of those camp supplies that we just used, we can get back. Oh, there's even some more laying here on the ground. Maybe from a previous casting of it that I forgot to loot. Okay, so everybody has Hero's Feast. Everybody has their blessings. Yes, so it looks like we are good. So let's go out and find the remaining parts of Dribbles the Clown. So we have his hand. That was the very first thing we found inside the Circus of the Last Days. We have his torso. That was in the Open Hand Temple. We don't have... I'm looking here. We don't have his leg, his arm, or his foot. We do have his pelvis, and we don't have his head either. So let's go out and look for his arm first. Now his arm, I believe we need to go to Heapside Strands. No, we do not. We need to go to the Lower City Central Wall. No, Heapside Strand is right. Yes. Heapside Strand is here because that house, I believe, is right here or right here, one of the two. I always get confused with this house. I'll know it.
I'm going to ask for directions.
It's right here.
No, you mustn't. The city is full of criminals. We can't let them know we're vulnerable.
Okay, we're going to keep getting the mind quakes. Is what it is. You want to get everybody grouped up here in front of this barricade. Now, this area is marked as restricted here. Okay, so what... There are patrolling...
A private word would be nice.
Flaming Fist, and you don't want them to anger you. Or you don't want to anger them. So I'm going to cast Darkness on top of me. Make sure you don't get any of the refugees when you're doing this.
No time to rest. Need to find a way forward. What's that?
Never wanted the easy part.
Not worried about the perception checks.
Where am I needed? Checking things out.
Shadowheart does have advantage on these perception checks.
No time to waste.
We're going to go here. We're going to close the doors behind us.
That's curious.
And now we can exit turn-based mode.
Why don't we just retrace our steps?
Okay, and in here we have another dead body. There are also various other clues around here, but what's important is that there's a hatch here underneath the traveler's chest.
With a flick of the wrist.
I'm going to ask for directions.
No, you mustn't. It's full of criminals. We can't let them know we're vulnerable.
Okay. Tried to fail it. I'm going to split my group when I go down here. Okay, and I end up in this basement here. And courageous little Kimabeth, if you look through here, there's...
At the ready.
a whole bunch of stuff that you can search, and inside here, let's bring Shadowheart down.
Onward.
forward.
Okay, so scroll of greater invisibility. Nice. Then here you have a strong box. We won't deal with that just this second. Okay, and in here are a few things that you can again pick up.
What a ghastly
But here you
diorama.
have the clown's severed arm.
Clown's arm. Dribble's is no doubt.
And some other things that you can search in here. And here you can learn more about these enhanced weapons and what the Zhentarim were doing. And this is in Paratree's house. Paratree's the one that's dead upstairs, and you note that he was working to make these weapons out of infernal iron and using the Zhentarim to distribute those to various places. Things got a little bit out of hand, it seems, based upon the fact that he's dead, but he also attracted Orin's attention, and that's what got him into the state of being dead that he's in right now. Now, the strong box, I actually can't remember exactly where the key is. It's around here, just not going to spend the time to go find it. I know in the Paladin playthrough we did pick it up, but at the end of the day we have some soul coins and some +2 stuff that we can sell. Now again, the armors are very, very nice to be able to sell. They're worth quite a bit of gold.
Another step forward.
Okay, and then that should have advanced. Find Dribbles the clown. So we found his arm. We still need his leg. And his leg. And again, we want to watch with the, if you come out of the door, watch with the flaming fist. But his leg, I don't know if we've done it or not. We'll go to the lower city central wall. We might not have done this yet.
Six-hander. We can't do the death of Guildhall. A bit of hard work.
In any book, really.
First one to give up before he got paid.
Okay, yes, we have done that. The house we need to go to is here. Okay, obviously a scene of very strange death in here with a bunch of spiders, etc. There's a key here to the groundskeeper's hatch. Before we take that,
Better not be
I want to
cursed.
close the door. Okay, and you learn about the Park Keeper's Journal here. So, they keep wondering that there have been some suspicious characters in the park of late. We're going to learn more about that here in a little bit. Not today, though. Okay, and then we have another hatch here.
What's hiding here?
And there's Will's alert icon back. It's always going to come back. I don't think any of the spiders or anybody or anything has anything on them. Maybe ever missed here. Yeah, we do have a hatch. Oh, wait. Picked up the key. And in here's a fairly gruesome scene laid out with somebody else in here. A bunch of crafting ingredients, some additional weapons and that sort of stuff that you can pick up. Again, the bodies aren't going to have anything to go looking at.
Always room for more? This body. A sacrifice or some
And here
kind of
you find
display.
the severed leg.
Judging by the state of the leg, this must be part of the clown.
Okay, so that's going to update this again here, and send that off. And now, so torso, hand, pelvis, arm, leg. I think we need the foot still. And the foot is... I think we're going to need to go to... I think the lower sea central wall, and then we'll head south. This way.
Something you'd say if you had no idea.
If I can't sell broadsheets, are we?
Those absolutists love mind control.
There ain't no one coming to help us. We are to be helping
Cultists
ourselves.
took control of my fiancé.
No.
Have you got anything I can use to bring him back?
It's right here. Because this is Beehive's General Goods. This is the house that we want.
Only last 10 days.
Don't you? Criminals.
We're going to break our group here, and we'll take Shadowheart with us.
What do you think happens to the old right?
And while we're in here,
Interesting times.
Should have at least locked the place up.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
Let's move.
and I didn't do any of my buffs here. And we can talk to Ratton here.
Hello, hello. Ooh, are you the new cheese dropper? I do hope so. I'm almost down to the last crumbs. Alexander was his name. He dropped all manner of morsels, but the cheeses were the best. Until the Red Man visited. A person who drops cheese, which I eat. A dwarf, all dressed in red. He smiled and held Alexander close, and then Alexander was shouting and struggling, and soon he was all dressed in red as well. So many red morsels fell out of Alexander. They tasted like salt and rust. Very good, even better than cheese. A way to make more people red and to spill their tasty morsels. Go away now. Your delicious scent makes me crave your morsels, but it would be rude to bite you.
Okay, and I'm going to group both of us up. So Alexander Rainforest is here.
No traps, please.
Whatever comes, I'm ready.
You do have the opportunity to speak with the dead on all of them.
Regards you.
We don't really need to do these very much.
He was short, dressed in red. Investigating odd records. Tombstone. Shaw. No owner. Decades now. Old candle hellos.
The corpse remains silent. It does not know. The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
Okay, and we can head downstairs.
I must keep going.
Let's hope we don't get a random flaming fist detection cone like we did in the Paladin playthrough.
Something over there.
Same bloodstained parchment that we learned about earlier. All of these are advancing investigate the murders. We've already gone through and taken care of Dolor. That's why we don't need to cast Speak with the Dead on any of these people that we're finding. We know that we need to get to Candlehella's tombstones, and we know the passphrase to get in there. Before I go down here, I'm going to cast Guidance.
This is a ritual killing.
Let's avoid that trap.
And the murderer wanted it found.
Okay, so it's like I passed some and failed some.
Let's get on with it.
All's well that ends not as bad
Pretty
as
sure
it
I
could have.
missed a tripwire right here that's going to set this off. And I can help my chances out here.
I wonder what the next move
So
is.
now if I trigger that, I don't think it's going to go off. And here is the severed foot.
Foot of a clown. Someone's sending a message. Just don't ask me what exactly. Just avoid that trap.
Okay, that's bad. Walk too far in there and set it off. There's nothing really in here to pick up. You have access to the strong box, which we can come back to. Potion of Featherfall. That's
Not
nice.
bad,
Now here...
Looks like a trap there.
And we want to refresh guidance.
Trap. Have a lot on my mind. And, well, in it. Very well.
Can't afford to stay idle.
And we'll recast guidance on Shadowheart, move forward a little bit more.
Best avoid
There's
that
the trap. I don't need to disarm this since I already got rid of the tripwire. And over here is Rainforest chest key. Wooden chest, has an arrow in it. Pouch, I don't think has anything in it. Just some random other items that you can pick up.
Seen everything.
And now this strong box is opened with Rainforest chest key. And this is going to have some gold and a random jewel in it. Okay, so now we have his foot. The last thing that we need is his head.
Seems simple enough.
Okay, and we're going to go to the Undercity Ruins. And here we have this door. Now this door is unpickable. And get these items back on. Okay, but to access this area, you need to shoot one of the hanging corpses. There's a skull down here. If you can get the hanging corpse to drop blood on the skull and create a bloody skull down here, it will open the door. Okay. There. Okay, so now down here, before I go anywhere in here, I want to make sure that everybody has this, that
My
Shadowheart
faith will guide me.
has given me, or given hers the buff here.
Still breathing. despite
Okay.
everything.
And now you're going to find a dead body here. Okay, to gain admittance to the Baal Temple, you must cross Manslaughter Chasm. If you are weak, like this aspirant, the Farslayer will deny you passage. Defeat him or die. That gives you a hint about what is going to happen inside this room. Okay, now we can play this a few different ways. There is a really nice set of gloves in here that we can attempt to get. There is also a trick to this. If you just walk in here, the Farslayer is going to spawn here, and he's going to start a countdown timer. And you have a certain amount of turns to reach him and kill him before he's able to cast Power Word Kill. And Power Word Kill does exactly like it sounds. It's a really high level spell in tabletop that is 9th level, which I believe you get at level 17 in tabletop for the wizard class, that allows you to kill an enemy outright with just by saying the word kill. That will happen to everybody who's within range. Now, the range of that spell comes all the way out to here. So anybody who walks into this room or attempts to reach him is going to be part of that countdown timer. It's going to be subjected to it. Now, what makes it hard is that what you can't see is that all the way around here, on all of the high ground up here, including behind these windows and up here, are various invisible enemies that obviously you can't see right now, and they will be using ranged attacks that will push you off into the chasms. There are also melee enemies that will spawn that will try and get to you, and as part of that, they will also try and shove you off this chasm. So there are a couple of ways to do this, and I've actually never done it this way. So this ought to be interesting, because I have no idea if this is going to work or not. What I do know here is that I have Fly, and Fly is going to allow me to get to places that the game probably doesn't expect me to get to. So I'm going to go invisible here. I'm going to make my way across to this person here, and I'm going to trigger a reaction from him, and then when I do that, hopefully the timer won't start. But even if it does start, I have Fly on a lot of my characters, and I can still get a bunch of characters up to the high ground here to be able to kill him. Now, one thing that is useful here is Reaper's Embrace. The reason it's useful is because when activated with Reaper's Rigidity, you can't be moved against your will by any spell or action. Okay, so that's a failsafe against being pushed into the chasm. Now, you have to be proficient with medium armor, and I am not.
calls for careful footwork.
So... Oh, she's got a trash bag. Okay. But Shadowheart is proficient, so Shadowheart can be immune to this by having Reaper's Rigidity toggled. Okay. Now, Shadowheart also is going to have a bonus to her initiative rolls and that sort of stuff when she goes through this as well. So I think I'm gonna probably try this with her, because honestly I've never tried this way either. Actually, it's getting... I just glanced at the timer. I don't have my normal timer because I'm playing this as a video and not as a live stream when I would normally be able to look at the clock. So time has gotten away from me here. So I think that's actually a good thing for us though, because I would like to be able to, in the Paladin live stream, I showcase this by having Astarion run down here while he was invisible and go up and attack him. But in doing that, you miss out on the Bone Spike gloves. And I would like to be able to get the Bone Spike gloves this time by killing Luke the Strangler, I think is his name, who's a melee enemy who spawns over here. But for him to spawn, you have to get into... You have to spawn the Farslayer. You don't have to go through the cutscene of having him start the whole countdown timer with power word kill, but you have to spawn him, and then once he's spawned, then you can make your way off of it, normally by flying down here, and when you do that, you're going to spawn some enemies around here because he's still alive. So the enemies are going to spawn, and one of them is going to be Luke the Strangler, and I can kill him. So my goal here is going to be to take Shadowheart, or probably to take my Bard, now that I think about it, because my Bard has see invisibility. Up here while they're invisible, fly up here, fly over here, enter into combat with him, and then take Shadowheart down here and spawn Luke the Strangler, so that way I can get into combat with him. And while my Bard is up here dealing with the Farslayer, I can be down here dealing with Luke the Strangler and get the Bone Spike gloves. I don't need them for this playthrough, but they are a very, very useful set of gloves that for your monk class can be extraordinarily useful. So we're going to want to explore those. So I think that gets us a good spot to wrap up today. So I'm going to drop a new save, and we will come back and join this next week. Now, as a reminder, as I mentioned, I am currently having my internet worked on. I am setting this video to go live at the normal time of the Bard live stream, which is Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. Central Daylight Time for me. That is GMT -5 right now, so this is when you should be seeing this. The internet company's supposed to be here Friday. Hopefully everything will be worked out, and we will be able to have our honor mode playthrough Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time in its normal spot. Now, I'm going to do my best to try and get my internet company to make sure everything gets fixed. Please keep an eye out on the community tab, and as I mentioned in the admin notes, I will also put up a couple of posts on my social media, since I've hardly ever use them at all. So on Threads and on X, I will put up a couple of posts keeping you all apprised as to whether or not that's going to happen. But let's keep our fingers crossed that everything's going to work out. So, as always, even though we're not live, thank you all who are viewing this video. I can't thank you enough for all your support, because as always, without your support, none of this would be possible. This is Commander Dribble saying until next time, fare thee well.